Hello, my lovelies. Well, I didn't think I'd have to do this video, but a couple of people in the background have been asking me, people who matter, what are my thoughts on Shaun Attwood teaming up with Darren Gee after Darren Gee made horrendous hate speech rants towards me. Not only towards me, towards other people. And also, Darren Gee, it's not just that, Darren Gee also threatens physical violence to people on a regular basis. He runs away after doing it, but he does threaten it, which puts him in the classification of a bully and a cyberbully. Now, why these people are asking this is because I started a group on Facebook called ACB. I'll leave a link below. Anti-cyberbullying, which has sort of gone into a sleep mode at the moment, but I am picking up on it. Don't think it's just been abandoned. It's just that it takes time to get everything together in the background. Well, Shaun was the first person that joined that group. Now, and said he was going to, work with it. Still waiting for him to actually do anything for it, but he won't get the chance now to do anything for it, as you'll find out in this video. But it's also like you can see why people are asking questions. The issue is, Shaun has decided he wants to help Darren Gee get his message out there. He wants to work with him and all this because he believes in Darren's message. I'm still waiting for someone to explain what Darren's message is. I've never worked out for myself, other than choose life, not a knife, and he's trying to make money out of this. That's all I can work out. His actions, the way he's coming out with horrific bigotry and bullying and the language out of his mouth, I can't see how this message is going to go forward because, as I've said before, if you want to do that, you need to get into the schools. You have to get into the schools and university. He hasn't got a chance. People get used to this. If you want to, and I've said this again and again, to these podcasters, ex bad boys or whatever you want to call them, podcasters, don't ever involve yourself with anything that's considered anti-LGBTQI because you won't get into the schools and the universities because simply there's a zero tolerance excuse me, of such things. And if you don't get in there, you don't get your message out, full stop. You're restricted to YouTube and Twitter. You won't get your message out. So, as I've said, Darren has destroyed his own chances. He said, basically, there's no point in carrying on other than going on YouTube and saying it. He'll never be able to get into where he can make the impact and actually earn the money from doing it. So I've said this all before, might as well talk to a brick wall. But let's get back on to Shaun and what happened. Well, I phoned Shaun and I said to Shaun, now did I phone him or no, I tried to phone him, he didn't answer, so I emailed him and pointed this out and said, this can't, this doesn't go down well. You've got to make now the decision what to do with being a member of ACB. In other words, we're saying in a nice way, take yourself out of it before I have to kick you out. Because what he's done, he's put me in exactly the same position he put Sonia Poulton. Sonia Poulton, over the Daddygate situation, had to issue a statement saying she could no longer work with Shaun Attwood because it would negatively affect her work. Because she's campaigning, for women's rights, she's campaigning against, you can't say the word on here, bad things being done towards children by VIPs and all this. So that was having a negative effect on her work because of the Daddygate issue. Well, what he's done with me by doing this is, if you look at what I campaign against, now I'll actually give you a perfect example of where you see the clash that's come in. If I allow Shaun to carry on being a member of ACB, this is the clash that people are bound to see. The American podcaster, everyone that's watched me knows I say he runs an anti-LGBTQI podcast on Odyssey, he was thrown off YouTube because of that. Now, one of his supporters, main supporter, and supports everything he does, even the hate speech he comes out with, is what I call the Scottish Pussycat. Now, I have said the Scottish Pussycat should be held responsible for supporting this American podcaster. Now, get that too. Now, just superimpose Shaun Attwood and Darren onto those. Darren is the American podcaster coming out with all this vile hate speech, and Shaun is the Scottish Pussycat. Now, logically, how can I support Shaun Attwood and not say anything or raise any concerns about him teaming up with Darren Gee, and yet go attacking and criticising the Scottish Pussycat? That makes me look a complete and utter hypocrite, and I'm not going to sell my integrity for Shaun Attwood or anyone else. And from saying that, you can see now Shaun Attwood has stepped right into the target line of someone that is anti-LGBTQI by the mere fact he is supporting a person who comes out with anti-LGBTQI rhetoric. He now is anti-LGBTQI the way he's because of the person he supports. That's the situation Shaun has put me in, people. The reason I started talking to Shaun again was out of a feeling of guilt and responsibility over the cyberbullying he received over the Daddygate scandal, the video being released. I was the one that released it, and I released it because he wouldn't take down a GoFundMe he started for Callie Diamond, which was obviously wasn't being honest. He says it wasn't honest, it was whatever. I still say to this day it wasn't. He wasn't being honest with the people that Callie was still on the game. One, she wasn't getting her son back, and two, well, I've said it all before, I won't go over old ground again. But I felt really guilty over this because people still to this day are trying to bring him down. Now, I thought, right, I'll reach out to him and we've got to stop this. Because cyberbullying is wrong no matter what. Look, you go through the right channels, you do the right thing. And it's became like a really vicious, and it still is today, vicious attack. Not just on Shaun, on me as well. I get it. I get it for actually talking to him. So that's why I started talking to him again. But what has become evident now is that I can let those feelings of guilt go. And I don't have to feel any remorse. I can walk away from that because of what he's done now. He's actually shown himself to be supportive of someone that comes out with anti-LGBTQI rhetoric. And as such, I don't hold any feelings of, guilt or remorse anymore. He's put himself in that position. In other words, we're quits now. We're quits. I certainly won't be working with Shaun in the future. Will I talk to him? I'll talk to him. I still think it's wrong that he's getting bullied the way he is, but that's for him to deal with, not me. That's his issue. Let him deal with it, because he damn well doesn't care that his new best buddy who he's promoting, I say, he never gave anything to ACB, who he's promoting and putting him out there, is cyberbullying people. Doesn't care about that, so let him get on with it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not, as I say, not going to work with Shaun again. I'm not going to associate myself with him. I will talk to him, but I won't be going on this podcast. That's a definite thing. I won't go on this podcast. I think this is going to backfire terrible on him, because, what will it be? It doesn't even take a week with Darren Gee to turn on people. 1 minute he's best buddies with them, then he's turning on them. I think why Shaun has done this is because he's desperate to get it back at James English, and I can understand that. I can understand him wanting to get back at James English, because James English was sly what he did, very sly what he did. But he's not thinking, well, wait a minute, to get back at Darren Gee, I'm going to absolutely destroy, and this is what he is doing, he's going to destroy any kind of working relationship with ACB, and also he's going to put himself and hold himself up as someone that schools and universities are going to see as being a supporter of someone who is anti-LGBTQI. Honestly, his brain, I don't know how he made it. Just shows you one thing: if you want to make millions, you don't need a brain. You just need to get lucky and have parents. Be able to run to the bank of mama and papa when you're in trouble. That's all you need. You certainly don't need brains, because he's lacking in that department. So anyway, I'll leave it at that there, my lovelies. As I say, I hope he sorts it out. I really do. Hope he gets his act together. If he'd actually put the effort into ACB, we could have made real impact. But sadly, he's not the person for that, and he didn't enter it for the right reasons. So good luck to him, and I'll leave it at that, my lovelies. Bye bye for now.